united front in public at the Invictus Games.
Yeah, some commentators have said they've acted like a celebrity power couple while posing for selfies with fans in the Dusseldorf.
Aren't you glad to see it? The Duke and Duchess of Cuddles in Germany for the Invictus Games. I mean, they are definitely putting on a show, but I think that it's more than wanting to convince people.
I think that he's got it wrong.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
I think in the middle of the night sometimes he must wake up in a cold sweat and think, my God, what have I done? Perhaps he doesn't.
Can we just talk about how Prince Harry walked straight into the lions' dens and left scorched? He wanted a quiet return, just a simple, dignified nod to the Invictus Games, maybe even a soft PR glow-up. But what he got? Oh, honey, he got dragged. Publicly, brutally, and guess who delivered the hit? None other than the king of cheeky jabs himself, Graham Norton.
I think that the Invictus Games has become the only credible project that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have. They've really got to nurture this event because all of their...
Remember when Harry's name used to make people swoon? Gasps, applause, the cheeky prince everyone loved? That was then. These days, instead of cheers, it's chuckles, mockery, eye rolls, and pity. So much pity.
And he believes he's still on the right path. But I think in certain moments he must regret, being estranged from his own family. He tells us he's happy in California.
This was supposed to be his moment, his grand homecoming, a subtle power play to honor Invictus and show he could still hold his own. But what did he get instead? Reality. Raw, savage reality, handed to him like a cold slap by Graham Norton.
Adventures have failed, and on such a global scale.
And do we think that this is just another example of Meghan sort of snubbing Britain? Because obviously...
Now, if you know Norton, you know he's the master of disguising jabs with laughs. One line, just one. But oh, it landed like a missile. Harry? He never saw it coming.
Great, I hope it is for them. But, there's no reason why he had to go to the extremes that he did, in my opinion. And I think sometimes
The room, in hysterics. The audience at home, laughing. But Harry, his face screamed the truth, flushed, jaw locked, eyes barely holding it together. That wasn't just embarrassment. That was years of tension bursting through one smile. That joke, it exposed the truth the tabloids had been tiptoeing around.
On his way there, she's totally avoiding it again. We never see her here. I mean, maybe a lot of people would be grateful for that, but it certainly seems...
He's not the hero anymore. He's the punchline. The prestige, the royal glow, the media deals. None of it can hide the fact that Prince Harry's fairy tale has fizzled. And in that moment, live on air, we didn't see a prince. We saw a man unraveling.
The night, I think, yes, he probably would regret it.
Yeah, I think he does, but I just don't think he doesn't care. I think he regrets it, but he doesn't care enough to do anything about it because he just thinks, what's the point? And I don't think if he said to Meghan, let's try and...
Awkward, out of place, completely unwelcome. And the timing, oh, it couldn't have been worse. He'd flown in all low-key, hoping for peace. But nope, no King Charles, no William or Kate, not even a corgi to say hello. He arrived, shook a few hands, then kept his distance. The palace, cold, ice cold.
It's the cold shoulder.
I've heard from several other royal commentators, Tina Brown, Andrew Morton, they do believe.
And then came that Norton moment, a single spark, boom, firestorm. The rest of Harry's trip, gone, events canceled, public appearances dropped, no cute quotes to the press. He walked off set and disappeared. First came the anger, then dead silence.
Back into the fold, I mean, she doesn't make any real efforts to kind of get back in the good graces of her family. Maybe it's not worth it.
That kind of silence that's deafening. When even your own camp doesn't know what to say. Whispers say he stormed out, locked himself in a hotel suite, canceled everything the next morning. And Meghan? Oh, she was reportedly furious, yelling from California. They set him up.
He is avoiding the UK because she's not very popular there. I do think it's a matter, personally, of self-preservation. She's trying to avoid more negative press, and that's what she's going to get.
But here's the tea no one wants to admit. This wasn't sabotage. This was karma. Years of royal bashing, of victim playing while cashing in on that royal title. It's finally caught up. The public's over it. They're done listening to the poor Harry act.
Markle, you'd think he'd sort of say to, well, let's try and patch this up.
I mean, that is an embarrassment. That is shocking.
They've never met and he's never met the grandchildren. I just think it's...
He came expecting grace, he got roasted, and as that laughter echoed across TikTok, headlines, and meme threads, one thing was obvious. He didn't just lose his place in the royal family, he lost the room.
there, or if she's not celebrated and welcomed. So she is going to go to some of those places where people are going to cheer her on and welcome her. And why not? Where's a
Oh, and the internet, it exploded. That Norton clip went nuclear. TikTok, violin music, slow-mo edits, memes, savage. One had Harry wearing a crown made of Spotify logos. Another swapped the Invictus logo with a crying emoji. What started as a joke became a full-on takedown movement.
Harry had fallen out with his brother. That kind of happens in siblings. There's a bit of a rivalry going on there. Well, that Meghan didn't get on with Catherine. There was a bit of a difference in culture. There was a difference in the way they kind of lived their lives, etc. And we kind of see, okay, they fell out. But falling out with Queen...
Commentators asked, did Graham go too far? Was the joke cruel or just deserved? But the real story wasn't the punchline, it was what came after. From the palace, from the press, from the people who once swore they'd defend Harry no matter what.
Invictus Games where her husband dominates. He's the face.
Yeah, and he does it so well, doesn't he?
And Buckingham Palace, not a word. No statements, no sources close to the king, just silence. And in royal terms, that's a slap across the face. A deliberate, unmistakable, you're on your own.
I mean, that's pretty bad for Meghan.
I mean, imagine if this came out a few years ago. People would have...
This is the same guy who once stood tall beside wounded warriors, launching Invictus to global applause. Now, he's been ghosted by the very institution he once called home.
Well, yeah, so there's no doubt about that. It is a winner, as you describe there as well, Kinsey. But tell us about the Invictus Games. Who are they?
And it gets even darker. Insiders whisper, Harry may not even return for the 2027 Invictus Games. The event that once defined him, gave him purpose and redemption, might just drop him quietly.
Plant a story or whatever, but one thing we've noticed is a bit of a thread of commonality. So the whole with Prince Harry being too in love, we keep hearing things consistently coming out from courtiers and
guess what? That disinvite was in the air even before Graham's takedown. One insider spilled, no one wants a distraction. The games are for veterans, not damaged egos. Oof, imagine the sting. The Invictus Games, Harry's baby, now whispering about replacing him. The one cause that once elevated him above all the royal noise. Now, it's slipping through his fingers, all because of one badly timed trip and one very public humiliation. And let's talk real heartbreak. Not headlines, not memes, not the showbiz chaos, but the people behind it, the veterans, the military families, the wounded warriors who once saw Harry as more than a prince. He was one of them. He served, he bled, he listened, he stood shoulder to shoulder with them, not in a designer suit, but in fatigues, in real dust, real pain, real brotherhood. And now, those same veterans feel betrayed. One Royal Marine, a 3-time Invictus competitor, choked up when he said, he used to be one of us. Now he's just another Hollywood name who dipped in when it looked good and vanished when it got uncomfortable. Let that sink in, because it's not just disillusionment, it's heartbreak. The kind that hits when your hero loses his way. Meanwhile, Meghan's absence, it's screaming. Back when things were good, she was front and center at Invictus. Speeches, smiles, matching outfits, everything. It looked like support, but now in the quiet, it feels strategic. Even the veterans have noticed. One military medic told reporters she was there when the cameras were. Where is she now? That one question hits harder than any punchline, and yes, insiders say she warned Harry not to go. She begged him to stay in Montecito. No point risking it. No press-friendly moment was guaranteed. So now, she's watching it all crash from afar, wine glass in hand, probably whispering, "I told you so." Because Meghan's not just silent, she's calculated. Always has been. And in Hollywood, silence is never neutral. It's always saying something. Behind palace gates, the mood is not cute. It's fury, but not at Norton, not even at the press. No, they're mad at Harry, especially King Charles. He's still recovering from his health battles, still trying to hold the monarchy together, and he'd hoped Harry would bring something good, a glimmer of the old soldier prince. Instead, Harry flew in like a ghost and left like a shadow. No wave, no smile, no sign he cared. Charles, heartbroken, furious. Because Invictus wasn't just a side project. It was the one thing he defended about Harry, even behind closed doors. And now, that thread snapped too. William? Oh, he's way past anger. He's numb, done. His team called Harry's visit a performance in cowardice. No reaching out, no olive branch, just another act in the California PR saga. To William, this wasn't just a brotherly snub. It was a betrayal of legacy, of duty, of everything their family's supposed to stand for. And make no mistake, the doors to reconciliation slammed, locked, bolted. Behind the scenes, the damage control isn't working. The Sussex brand, the Spotify mega deal, gone, canceled, quietly but brutally. Spotify basically shrugged and said, meh. Netflix lost its magic. The docuseries made noise, sure, for a week, then it disappeared. Just another binge watch that faded into the void, and American Riviera Orchard, all jam jars and dreamy photos, but no traction, no real buzz, no real success. It's all too much style, not enough substance. And audiences, they see through it now. Even Invictus, the crown jewel, is under fire. Donors are nervous, sponsors are fidgeting, attendance is dipping. The veterans, quietly pulling away. Planning teams are already lining up backups, alternate speakers, new ambassadors, and if Harry goes totally quiet, they're ready to move on without him. Let that settle. They're preparing to move on without him from his own legacy. So here we are. The man who once stood for service, sacrifice, and solidarity is now a brand people are quietly backing away from. What's left? A memoir that burned every family bridge, a docuseries that felt like a therapy session taped for ratings, a lifestyle brand selling aesthetics without any real soul. Even Meghan's much-hyped return to Instagram fizzled. Where was the promised rebrand? The big moment? It came and went without making a dent. And now, even the press is turning. The New York Times, yes, them, labeled Harry the California Duke. It sounds regal, but it drips with irony, because it's not the soldier prince anymore. It's not the man who stood in Afghanistan, hugged vets, and cried real tears. Now, he's a guy in Gucci shoes sipping $20 smoothies, talking about trauma in filtered podcasts. Back in Montecito, the mood is tense. Sources say the Sussex team is in panic mode, scrambling, strategizing. They know the game is slipping, because out here in the real world, relevance isn't a right, it's rented. And honey, the lease is up. They sold vulnerability, they sold honesty, but when it starts looking like strategy, the audience clocks it and they walk away. Polls across the UK, devastating. Over 80% of Brits say they no longer associate Harry with values like duty or service. Worse, 72% say he should not return to Invictus unless he apologizes, not just to his family, but to the country. Let that land. Britain isn't mad anymore, it's done. The people over it. And yet, in all of this, the loudest sound isn't a joke or a meme or a viral tweet. It's the silence. Harry hasn't spoken, not to the veterans, not to the palace, not to the people. The prince who once stood tall, who hugged wounded warriors and walked through minefields with pride, has vanished. The question now isn't will he come back? It's would it even matter if he did? Because at Invictus, they don't need speeches. They don't need designer suits or Netflix voiceovers. They need a leader, a brother, someone who shows up. And right now, all they've got is a memory and silence. If Harry can't take a joke, how will he take the weight of what he's let go? The Invictus Games don't need a runaway prince. They need a soldier. They need a leader. They need Harry, not this Harry, the old one. And if he doesn't step up soon, someone else will. Soon, someone...